So apparently, with Sam Does Art, a lot of fans have submitted their character designs, so he is critiquing each and every one of them. So I decided why not just jump into it as well. So I'll give you guys my opinion on what I'm seeing, right? So let's start off with the first one. He'll give his opinion, and I'll give my opinion afterwards.
He looks like a very stylish guy, very fashion, very, oh, there's a sketch, very nice. What's up, guys? Welcome. Today we're going to be taking a look at some of your guys' characters, and I'm going to be rating them on a scale from S, meaning it's so good I'm going to end my career, to A, B, C, and all the way down to D, which stands for do better, or doo-doo. But hey, hopefully nobody gets a D today. Now please, buckle up, grab your popcorn, and brace yourselves, because Professor Sam here is about to fail the whole class. Let's go. Here's our first victim. Her name is Brianna Ann's Diary. Now, from a design standpoint, I actually really like this character. You've got a nice monochromatic color scheme with blacks, whites, as well as a little bit of pastel desaturated pinks. And in terms of the silhouette, I think you've got more.
Yeah, I do agree with him on that. I do like the pastel muted out color palette. It really works with her features. This is a good example of you don't need to add so much color in order to build a particular character. So the pink, that's very muted out, that works. I do like the head to toe, and that's really hard to captivate. By the way, I know I'm kind of blocking the screen right here, but yeah, so like it's really hard to draw a character from head to toe. And I do like the 3/4 view from here. I wish he would have had another view where it could show the front view just to see how she looks. I'm not a big like this is cool to have here, but this is not really necessary. This could have just been smaller in the corner. I wish there was another angle to show her front view. Again, a lot of character designs. You got to have a large array of like I almost said lingerie, a large array of different angles from front view, side view, 3/4 view, back view. Especially with her type of outfit, it definitely garners that type of multiple angles because she's wearing a unique outfit. But yeah, overall, before he gives his rating, what the age is 191. Okay, so she is all right. She's immortal. She must be a vampire because you 191, or maybe she's 191 pounds. Well, she don't look 191 pounds, or maybe it's 191 likes. Now, but regardless, I would say this is pretty good. I actually like this format. Like I like how they made it look like it's girly, cutesy, but it's a really nice touch of making it seem like it's traditional, even though it's digital. Because I like the loose leaf texture, so I like what they did of making that graphics. Yeah, good composition. Honestly, I just wish there was a bit more angles. But overall, with this design, going by his grade scale of S tier, I will give this a solid. I'll give this a B. This is good. It's just missing more, but I'll give this a B as far as character design.
Volume on the sleeves as well as on the legs, and less volume on the center of the body, so the balance kind of works itself out. So our first victim's gonna get a solid A from me. Now the only thing
Okay, he
that I could
gives it
think
an
of that
A.
could make
Okay,
this.
I'm not mad at it. Yeah, yeah. Between the B and the A, I'll just still give it a B just because I'm like Gordon Ramsay. I'm extremely critical. Get out of my kitchen. Get out.
Even better is if you look at her torso in the full body shot, you don't really see the silhouette of her actual body because the hair is the same color.
I agree. That's another thing people got to keep in mind when it comes down to contrast. Contrast is extremely important. My shameless plug, I do a lot of stuff that is traditional. So when you see a lot of my characters, characters that you guys are familiar with, and I just do the designs off of that, right? So all of the fan requests that I get, I have the tendency of making sure certain things pop out. That's how you make this look more three-dimensional, is having certain areas of more of a shadow and then have that contrast. When things are the same tone, it then becomes looking it ends up looking flat. And you don't want certain things to compete with each other and looking really flat. So always bear that in mind whenever you do character design. If anything, if you have any trouble with that, then why not, make certain highlights at the bottom, like her hair. Make that be a bit of a highlight so that way her outfit can pop out. Or you could do something with the outfit right here and maybe have like a little bit of pink on the side if you want to keep it the same color that's monochromatic, something like that. Or yeah, just either make the sides right here a little bit lighter of pink or white, or I say pink because you have the white going down, or have the hair have a bit of a highlight. Something's got to give. So I do agree with him on that.
as the costume on her body. So if I squint my eyes and take a step back, I kind of just lose the silhouette of the character, which is not what we want to do. You could potentially move the hair a little bit to the side or even change the length of the hair so that the character's body silhouette shows up a little
I
bit more,
agree.
and then it might just be an S tier. Holy Christ, I really
This is cool. This reminds me of Aquaman. Obviously, it's like a female Aquaman. It's like Aquaman mixed with Wonder Woman. I like the pose, and also mixed with Avatar, just because I see the arrows at the bottom. This is great. This is traditional with Copic markers. It looks like Copic markers or something along that nature. Those markers are expensive. I remember when I was in school. Oh man, if you got Copic markers, they can tell your income is high, or you're just taking out a lot of student loans. One of them two. But anyway, I like the color palette on her. It's very balanced. I love the earth tones, and I love the indent color. As I don't know, maybe I just created that word. I love the accent color of the blue to just kind of break off between everything being gold and off white, which is the tan, and the green. This person is really good at playing around with having the use of color composition, and most people are not that. Not most people. Some artists are just not good when it comes down to color placement. It's really hard. I honestly, is either you know it how to do it or you don't. So even though your eyes you can see color, you're not colorblind, but when it comes down to color composition, certain people are colorblind when it comes down to that, and clearly this person isn't. The one thing I would say is that this is a good pose. I just wish they would have had more like different angles of her face and just have her standing, have different angles of her from a like a concept art. So you have like the front view from head to toe, the side view, and the back view. Uh, but yeah, overall, just judging by what I'm seeing, this is a A. This is an A for sure. It would have been an S if it had different angles. I love the trident. I love that weapon. Another thing too, I'm a big stickler when it comes down to outline. I wish the person was to like go in there with that ballpoint pen or whatever ink that they're using, and then just outline the overall silhouette a little bit, so that way it could look more polished and it could look like it could pop out from the paper. But yeah, overall, this one gets an A. Definitely gets an A. I would say as well, this gets lost. This here gets lost right here. I would, if I was that artist, I would make this part here darker. Put more contrast over here so this loincloth can pop out more. You know, but yeah, or make this loincloth green so it could just kind of phase like that. But that's me just nitpicking.
really love the big pants silhouette in contrast with a more tight and form-fitting upper body. It really looks quite solid, and I was gonna give you a B rating until I saw her foot. What the hell is that? Oh, Lord have
Yeah, that foot is pretty jacked up. But you know what? It's the good news about foot is that people don't see it like that. They don't see it as much. If you have a really good upper body, because look, I'm bad at drawing feet as well. Feet and hands, Anyway, if you're really good at drawing like the overall structure, lights and shadows, the different compositions, different components of the character designs, then you can get away with the little things like the feet being jacked up.
Have mercy on my eyes. But we're gonna pretend we didn't see that. You're gonna get a B. Design inspired by
Okay, we're
ancient
we're the
Indian kings
opposite.
and
He gives it a
warriors
B, I
attires.
give it an A.
Very, very cool. Now, the only thing that I could think of that would make this character even better is if you incorporated some more accent colors into her lower body. She's got a very vibrant costume design, and I can see that you've used some reds and some blues in other parts of her body, like the hair and the armband. So I think it would help if you try to bring some of those colors in.
I mm, yeah, I think that would have worked if it was. If the baggy pants, right, if that was blue, that would work. Either that, make it that blue, or this part here with the green, make this part green, the loin cloth, whatever it's called. Make that part green, and you could keep the gold at the tip.
into her lower body, because right now, again, you take a step back, that whole section kind of just blends together. This is Marjorie, an aristocrat living in a world where magic is outlawed. She finds ways to subtly challenge this construct, but with just one misstep, and she and her companions find themselves swept up in the whirlwind. Very interesting, cool story.
Okay, this kind of reminds me of Castlevania, just the hair and all that stuff, and just the way it looks. Um, mm, I I like the style of the hair being exaggerated. I also like that they made it into some sort of a scene, like it's an animation. I do like that because that's something I never seen before. That's cool. And the hair is crazy right here. So maybe she's laying on a bed or something. I I'm personally, maybe I'm being biased, but I'm not a big fan of it. But I'll explain. The hair just seems to be too distracting towards the face. Like, I want the face, because that's the thing about character designs. You want the face to have some sort of a characteristic, like something that's unique. Like, give me a face expression. Give me something that gives that oomph. Like, okay, this person is an individual, and I'm just looking at it like it's just way too monochromatic on the face. It's like melancholy. It's just not really giving me a unique look as far as the face is concerned. The hair is more expressive than her face. That's what I'm pretty much saying. Um, Color palette being a wine color, that's cool. Gives it that, vampire esque type of look, and everything being very pale gives you that vampire look. I don't know if she is a vampire, but that's besides the point. The face just seems a little jacked up. I know I watch a lot of Ink Master, so I'm like glued with. I don't know. I've been indoctrinated with the word jacked up, but the face to me, if you're gonna make the face monochromatic, then you gotta make her very, very attractive looking in the face. You know, the face is just giving me, she's a little bit of like a tomboy wearing a dress. Like, she doesn't, like, she got no makeup on, and she just seems to be someone who's like, hey, I'm undercover, trying to be, undercover being a princess. You know what I mean? It's just not giving me a real attractive aesthetic look on the face. The hair, everything else is doing more than her face itself. And that's the number one thing people got to consider when it comes down to character designs. The face is everything. Even if the person's wearing a mask, that mask better be so unique, right? Think about King. He got a Jaguar mask. You know, look at Street Fighter, look at Tekken characters, look at those as reference. See how each of them are distinctively different, and ask yourself why. And when you understand why, take that as inspiration and then move on with your own character work.
Now, first of all, I love the shape of the dress. I love the color of the dress. It really conveys a sense of nobility. As it stands right now, she's going to get a C from me, but see, because she's
I would give it a C. It's between a C and a D. It's not a fail. I'll give it a C just because I've never seen that before. Like, the walk, that's hard to do from that proportion and making it seem like it's real, like somebody's walking. So I do like how they created that movie type of scene. There's always something about getting movie angles and putting it into your own character design, or your character artwork or comic book or whatever. It just makes it more dynamic. So I like that.
living in a
So I
world
can't
that
give it
has
a
some
D.
magic, some
It's a C. I give it a
fantastical
C. I agree
elements,
with
and
him.
obviously she's in the upper echelons of society, being an aristocrat. I would personally like to see some more hints to her status in society by way of maybe accessories like an expensive necklace, maybe some expensive earrings, maybe some expensive
I
bracelets. Now, of
agree.
course, you don't have to go overboard with this. Simplicity is key, but I'd like to see a little bit more accessorization of this character just to convey her background a little bit better. And after you do that, I'm pretty sure she'll be an A. What the hell? Bro, what the hell is
Okay. I'm gonna move on. I think that's just a troll drawing. Let's see the next.
being used as an accent color? And I do
Oh, that's pretty cool that they showed the color palettes of what they use. That's cool. See, this is a good example of a good layout to like a character design. You got the view from head to toe. You got her face expression to show her personality on the right hand side. Then you got her exaggeration, I don't know, her own type of emoji, anime emoji, whatever you call it. And then you got the bottom part where maybe it's just showing that something happens. You don't create an effect scene. I like this. This is a good example of how character design should look. Color palette is nice actually. It's pretty cool. It has a nice contrast variety between cool colors, which is her hair, so it pops out with the warm colors, which is the horns that she has. And I also like the suit too. Her jacket, it's a nice jacket with the flame at the bottom, and it has that varsity jacket type of look. My only thing is, if I was her, I would make the jacket a little bit darker so that way it doesn't compete with her hair, or make the hair brighter. I would say no, the hair is perfectly fine right here. I would just make this color, which is this color here, I'll make that a little darker. Not as dark as the collar of the varsity jacket, but a little bit darker so the hair can pop out. But overall, I don't have a problem with this. I mean, I'll give this one, and I'll give it an A, honestly.
Actually like the silhouette of this character. She's gonna get a solid A from me. Now, the only
Oh,
thing
see,
that I
there we
think
go.
could take
We're
her
on the
to an
same
S
boat
tier
here,
is if you
Sam does
add
art.
a little more
Okay.
exaggeration and
Okay, I
volume to the
see ya.
silhouette of her hair, and maybe add some more volume and some roundness to the back of her sleeve. I feel like that would really just round out the upper body silhouette in contrast with the
Let me
lower
see.
body. Oh my goodness, look at that. Sai is the main character of the series I'm working on, set in a futuristic Asian American inspired city of Koi Harbor. Sai and her team have to navigate fighting corrupted thawing.
All right, let's see this one here. All right, so, okay, cool. Now, this is what I'm talking about. This is what you're supposed to do with character designs. You're supposed to get that concept art appeal. Get that front view, head to toe. Then you got the side view and you got the back view. Um, I long legs. This person seems as if they are I don't know. Like they seem like they come from a fashion design background. Just because when I used to go to school, we used to have like fashion design majors. They will create um female anatomy like this where the legs are very elongated, and it seems like her leg is elongated, and very petite, very petite. I would say maybe I'm being biased here, but I would like to see if she had more curves. She's too petite of a model. I would like to see more hips. The hips don't lie. And look at that. Like she has no back view. I mean, if you know what I mean. She don't got the badonkadonk. Like, come on. But that's me being biased. The color palette is good. I like the color palette with the black and lavender, with the then you got the black with the red. You can't go wrong with black and red. And then you got the washed out, very pale, dark, pale lavender. Like it's more like a grayish right here. It's a nice palette. My only thing is just it's distracting with the indigo as they use in the backdrop, but it's fine. It's a backdrop, so you can always change that. But this is a good layout. Character is fine. My only issue is that I wish there was a close up face expression to show the character's personality. Is the character a quiet person? Is the character loud? Is the character innocent and very introverted? Is the character extroverted? I'm not seeing no humanity in this character. And the problem with that, it could come off as looking like a toy, where it's just different angles just doing this. It's like, where is the face expression that depicts the character's personality? That's my only critique, and that's why I'll give it a B because of that. But if they had face expressions, like I don't need this. I don't need the torso of this. This here can go away. This clock, I don't get it. I guess it's supposed to represent the part of the fabric, of the accessories and all that. Don't really need to see that. Replace that with a face expression that shows her personality, and I would have easily got an A. But because of that, I'm really picky, like Gordon Ramsay, and I'll give it a B.
monsters while figuring out how to get time restarted. So one of the first things that I noticed about this character sheet was the presence of the stopwatch on her chest. And honestly, that's a really good indicator of the potential story around this character. And just in terms of her design, again, I love the silhouette of this character. Okay, you've got a lot of volume with the hair, a lot of volume on the upper body, in contrast with a very cartoonish and slim lower body, finished off with some very chunky shoes. I feel like I can already see her being animated in some sort of a show. You're gonna get an A from me. Maybe change the color of the background to something a little bit more neutral so that
I
we can get
agree.
a better sense of her colors, because this blue is killing my eyes, bro. Freaking
Yeah.
skating beaver.
Oh shoot, skating beaver. That is, yeah, I like this one, man. I like this one. Off the bat, this gets an A for me easily. Damn near close to S tier. Nah, I might even give this a S. This is a perfect example of what I was talking about. You got the different face expressions. You got the silhouette of what he does, right? So you get the movement, the vibe of the character, and then you get the hero pose of what he does. You got the whole layout. There's nothing more, right? Nothing more. If anything, as nitpicking, I wish the different face expressions here would be colored, and you could leave this, or either this be colored or the top view be colored from front, side, and back. But overall, this to me gets an S. I like this.
How sick is that? For my final project of last year, the personality walk cycle, I designed my
This
character
this is a
Austin the Gopher.
professional. This is a professional character design right here. Professional.
Oh, it's a gopher. It's not a beaver. My bad.
Oh, I thought
And
it was
does
a
racial
gopher.
profiling of rodents. And there's a little animated walk cycle.
Mm.
That's pretty cool. I love the
He did anim. Nah, this is S tier.
idea of a skater. I love the idea of the gopher. I'm going to give this character a B. I love the expression sheet and the
Wow, he gives it a B. Nah, I gotta give it an S. Because this character has life. Even though it's animalistic, like it doesn't matter if it's animalistic, a robot. It don't matter. Like it's all about the energy, and this character gives you dynamic energy, and the whole composition of it looks professional. Like you can literally see this as a pitch for a new IP, in a meeting, and they'll have something produced like this. So yeah, I gave this. I'm giving this a S.
silhouette shots. I think those are fantastic. Now, the only thing that I would change to get this to an S tier is I want you to think about the build of a gopher. Gophers got a lot of body fat, they droop a little bit. They also have like short, stubby little limbs, and I feel like that's something you could work.
I disagree. You don't necessarily need to uh copy the characteristics of the exact anatomy of an animal. Like for example, look at Sonic the Hedgehog. Does he look like a hedgehog to you? No. But you can tell it's a hedgehog, but they just did their interpretation of it. So just because you use an animal doesn't mean you need to follow the anatomy to the T. That's the whole point of making it into a cartoon. Look at Mickey Mouse.
With and try to incorporate into this design. Think of a character like Stitch, for example. A lot of volume in the limbs, a lot of volume in the body.
But even Stitch, what is he based off of? Multiple. Look at Pokemon. They take multiple characteristics of animals and make it to them. Maybe this artist didn't want to make the character like extremely chubby with a lot of volume, because the character is always moving with a skateboard, so he wants to give it more of that tapered petite look.
But stubby
But I
and
get what he's saying.
and round looking. I think that type of a silhouette where the body and the limbs are more bean-like almost and kind of just flowing, that would make this design even more charming and even more endearing. Ooh, that's not bad at all. I love her out.
So for the person whose name Austin, maybe that was the animal's name. That's the best one I've seen so far. Beautiful layout, has everything that is needed for a character design. So now we are here. I do like the palette. The palette is nice. The lavender with pink, you cannot go wrong with that. I like the characteristics though. That's very important. The face being very melancholy, very nonchalant. I know some people are like, oh, but that's not face. How is that supposed to show? It does because it's an exaggeration. There's a difference between, and this shows no characteristics. There's nothing. That's like a toy. So you don't want to make a character just look like a toy, like unless you're doing a front, side, three-quarter, and back view. But if you're showing just different personality of the character, this shows personality. She's very chilled, laid back. She eats ramen. Uh, like the outfit, like her gesture. The gesture to me is really good because it fits with the character being nonchalant. It's just like I'm just too tired to just stand up straight. I'm just slouching. I'm just like, yo, I'm chilling. That's cool. It's consistent. It's the consistency. All right. So a lot of it, you tell the story, you tell a visual story. Right. And this three-quarter view, this asymmetrical, not asymmetrical, this I forgot what it was called, the isometric. There we go. Sorry, the isometric perspective here is nice. That goes with her, with that perspective with the face, the head. So to me, this is good. Even down to the feet. I know you guys can't see it, but down to the sneakers, man, like head to toe. Uh, Giving it a lot of high praise. My only critique would be but it's a character design, so it doesn't need to be perfectly polished. That's another thing we have to keep in mind. It's like a concept art. This is a good example of a concept art. Though I like the previous person layout better, um, this is cool. This is cool. I'll give this an A. I'll give this an A. Yeah.
Outfit. This is kurage, jellyfish in Japanese. She is a poor university student who spends all her money on food and knockoff katanas. She also does kendo and has grandiose delusions of becoming a samurai. No, it's pretty relatable. You know, we definitely see the jellyfish in her hairstyle as well as the colors. I like how the jellyfish colors kind of work their way into her hair color. And I also like how you didn't just leave it at the hair. She's got some accessories and some socks that also match the color of her hair. She's gonna get a solid B from me. Now, if you want to
Okay.
take kurage to S tier, I want you to be more confident with your silhouette. Look at the hair, for example, right? I'm seeing a lot of like scratchiness, a lot of uncertainty with her hair.
I was gonna critique that, but I'm like, it's a character design. Like sometimes it don't need to be fully fleshed out. This looks more like page one out of multiple pages of her character design development. That's how I see it. But yes, I do agree in terms of the perspective of it being, if it needed to be fully polished, then I agree.
To place the volume, I'd recommend, maybe studying some stills from characters from Arcane, for example, where there's a lot of certainty with the silhouette, especially when it comes to the hair. And you can actually transfer some of that certainty and simplicity into other areas of her body as well, such as the sleeves for the sweaters. Even on the shoes, for example, I feel like there could be a little bit more punchiness with the shape here. But again, this is also something that's just going to come.
But I think that to me, I think that's fine because the character just looks nonchalant. So sometimes the story could overlook certain aspects of what you can improve upon. Otherwise, even if you do that, it might contradict itself. Like why have all of those things if that's not what the character is predicated off of? You get what I'm saying? So it could go either way.
To you with even more practice. So take your time, don't rush yourself. You've got a very, very solid base character here who's got just an absolutely iconic look to her. This is so cute. My alien OC Viv. Now, it seems like she's supposed to be a wholesome, bubbly type of character.
Yeah, it's just wholesome and bubbly. I the anatomy to me, it just doesn't. It seems like overall this design needs it needs a lot of work. Honestly, uh, I do like the face expressions. I like that more than the head to toe. And again, I'm not talking as if I'm some high tier artist. I struggle with drawing characters from head to toe, but this is jacked up. Like with the hands, I sound like Gabriel Igman, jacked up. It's just messed up with the hands, the proportions. Yeah, it's just not working for me. Yeah, this to me, this doesn't really fully garner a full complete. And this is mainly the fundamentals. The face expressions are fine. And I could just tell off the bat this is a bubbly, happy character. So at least it captured the personality. It's just everything as far as the fundamentals, from the shoes to the legs. The proportion is she's too top heavy. Like the torso is too big, unless you want to go for a long shirt, but that's a sweater and a skirt. Nah, it's a schoolgirl type of look, but this is not working for me. I will give this one the first D. I, I'll give it a D, unfortunately. You know, but at the same time, this person can just you got to start somewhere, right? Like, and then over time, you improve, you get better and better, and then when you revisit this, you'll do a redesign.
Character. I feel like you conveyed her personality really well. I love also the color scheme here. Very effective use of these different shades of blues with some golden accents mixed in. As it stands right now, I'm gonna have to give her a C, mainly because I'm not sure exactly what you're going for with the proportions here. I want you to go back and try to be a little bit more intentional with the length
It's
of the
so funny how there's certain moments where I'm being more lighthearted, not lighthearted, but lighter as far as a critique, and then he's more strict. And then it's the switcheroo where like I'm more strict and then he's a little bit more lighthearted. So that's
upper
funny.
body and the length of the
Because I haven't
lower
watched this
body. If
video.
she's
This is a
supposed
pure
to have a
reaction.
childlike physique, you could even shorten the arms a little bit more, make the head a little bit bigger. But if she's supposed to have more of an adult physique, you can maybe make the legs a little bit longer in comparison to the overall length of the body. Just things like that, and you
I
can
just like
easily
what I
take
just
this
said, yeah.
character up to an A or an S tier. Oh my god, this is
Oh wow.
beautiful.
This is crazy. Yeah, this person definitely mastered anatomy and face expressions. I love the palette. I love just everything flows like ballet. Like it's one of those artists style. I see a lot of style like this where they master the fluidity of their overall look to the point where they make it look easy. Have you see that? It looks effortless. Like there's nothing here that looks jacked up. Nothing. It just looks smooth. Um love the face expressions. Love the gesture. Look at my favorite out of all of these has to be this one. This and the guitar. These are my favorite. These are my favorite. And it just shows the character's personality here. Like she went through trauma, she cut her hair, she's a rebel. Like this is S tier. Yeah. And then I love this whole like the square. It reminded me of Norman Rockwell when he will have like the negative space of the shape being inside, but the figures popping out of the shape. I'm always a big fan of that. I used to do that a little bit with some of the characters work that I've done. But yeah, this is great. This is great. Let me see something here. See if I can find something real quick. Is it this one? And let me go to trying to find something I made way back. Give me a second. Give me a second. We don't edit up in here. Okay, yeah, like this one, right? So I made this one a few years ago. And that's what I mean, like just creating that like type of look right here, like just the overall having it pop out like that, you know. I didn't create the background, I created the character design. I just used the background just for it to pop. But that's what I mean, like doing stuff like that, it just gives it that three-dimensional feel to it. So yeah. This was just made through Adobe Illustrator and then Photoshop. So I drew it on Photoshop and then I used the vector graphics on Illustrator, and I just found like some background that I took away the rest of it to create that circle. It's just something that's beautiful when you add all of that there. So yeah, and it just reminds me of that. So yeah, so like so seeing this is a very very professional. I can see this being as a pitch to like Disney, Pixar, whatever animation studios that's out there. This is obviously a perfect S tier. I even like the whole the hair of the brown and the purple, and how everything is so monochromatic with white, purple, black, and brown. Like, and it's just, and pink. Just, it just works.
First of all, your composition and your layout for this
Crazy.
character sheet
S
is
tier.
gorgeous, okay? And I want to say I love the colors on this character. You've got this really nice pastel color scheme here, but she's
Yeah.
also got some nice contrast with the...
Look at that. It's beautiful. And her face is beautiful. The face expression at the bottom with the eyebrows. I'm sorry. I'm a big fan of The Rock. You know, I'm a big fan of The Rock. So whenever people do stuff like this, I even add that to some of my character designs too. It just makes it so like real. Like it just remind me of Disney. Okay, enough glazing. I'm just gonna
the black
let
dress.
it rock.
She's very expressive, and you've got a very distinct shape language. I actually really like the shapes that you've
The
used
bottom
for
is
the
fire.
sleeves as well as
This
parts of
when the
jacket.
head is
Honestly, I don't see
down.
much that I'm going to change here, so you're going to get a very solid S tier. This is
Yeah,
beautiful, man.
yeah,
This is
yeah.
a chicken.
I agree.
Wait, she's
Look at
beautiful.
this. Ooh, this is nice. This person is really good at drawing birds and animalistic. This is beautiful. I love the geometry of the background of the orange shapes. It gives it a graphical appeal to it. And look at the hands right here. This person is doing some fashionista. You know how hard it is to do hands like and having it look proportioned. So this person's clearly don't struggle with drawing hands. Love the back view here too. This is great. But I would still say as nitpicking, this doesn't remind me of a character design. This looks like a poster, which is a compliment. This looks like a poster. I will even have fun with it. I will even this is nitpicking because I like it a lot. I would even play around with the colors of the oranges, you know? Change the different colors of it. Change the different hues. You can even change different colors of the orange or like keep the orange in the same family or just change colors of it. But either way, this is great. This is great. I just wish there was one right here of a head to toe. Otherwise, it just looks more like a poster. But I'll have to give it an A tier just because it looks like a poster. But man, still very professionally done.
Okay, somehow you've
There's a lot
drawn
of great artists out
a
here.
very seductive chicken. You know, we don't really get to rate many of these
I'm sorry. The way he said it, a very seductive chicken. That was kind of funny. Um, it's not a chicken. I forgot the name of this damn thing. What? Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Let me just switch the view. I know exactly what type of bird that is too because I watched too many YouTube videos. Bird with large eyelashes. There we go. I know exactly what bird that is. This is the bird that they use as reference. There it is, people. Let me see if I can give you guys a better view. This is the bird. Go far away. This is the bird that they looked at. It is called the the secretary bird. This is the bird. This is the bird. So it's not a chicken. This is the bird. Secretary. Secretary bird. He has those big. It's the only bird with big eyelashes, and it has long legs. And you guys could see like based upon all of that you could tell they took reference off of that. So yeah, secretary bird. I think that bird is what 4 feet tall, 5 feet. It's around that. I think it's like 4 feet tall. It's a tall bird. And what it does is that it's known for just destroying people with its legs, and it just with the thin legs of people, it destroys like its food with its like legs. Like you can just see it right here. Their legs are crazy. Move right. You guys see it? Look at the legs, and they'll just whack their prey with that until it pretty much is done, and then it'll just eat it. It also attacks snakes too. That's a fun fact. Yeah. Don't mess with this bird. It looks pretty, but it's it is dangerous. So there you go. So now you know.
anthropomorphic animal characters, but I love when I see one like this because she works really well.
I
Such
would say, oh, I'm glad I took a pause of this one. I would say since this bird has big eyelashes, my nitpicking is to make the eyelashes bigger, make it thicker, give it those bird eyelashes, make those bat wings big. You know, you're that's the number one thing. Even with women nowadays, they have the fake eyelashes and all that stuff. Give those eyelashes is prominence because everything else works. If those eyelashes were thicker, that would be even better because that's how the birds look. Their eyelashes are thick. Look at that. Look how thick, and that's real. That ain't no eye freaking fake eyelashes. Those are real. You know. Let me open this a new tab so you guys can see it. Like, look at that. Look at that. So that's the only thing that is missing from that to this. You see that? It's so small. So yeah.
Such a great color scheme with the analogous colors on her eyes that just really pop against her gray feathers. Very solid A. But you know what's going to make her an S tier? If you got rid of all those random shapes behind her, because they're kind of impeding my ability to see the
I I see where he's coming from, but I like it. I do understand where he's coming from. It should be a cooler color. So always keep that in mind, people, that you don't need to make everything the same palette. You got to do complementary colors. The reason why it's called complementary colors is because they're like opposite of each other, like red and green, purple and yellow, blue and orange. Always keep that in mind with character designs when you're doing a full color to have certain things pop out rather than it just looking flat. You don't want things to look flat because all that hard work, you don't want to go down for nothing, right? So yeah,
character's silhouette a little bit more clearly. And also, I feel like maybe a little bit
I'll give you another example when I did this character design a few years ago. So look at this, right? So here, this took me a while to make, by the way. So, so yeah. So even with here, this is like this is the sketch version of it, and then this is the finished work. So you see how like certain areas it pops out. You gotta play around with the contrast. You could still have things be within the family of the character design you're doing with the palette, but at the same time, don't make everything the same exact color. Therefore, things look flat, right? And if you are gonna do that, create an outline so that way it can pop out more. Everything is about making things kind of come at you, right? Like bodybuilding, they come at you, 3 dimensional illusion. So let's continue.
more volume on the feathers on the back of her head. I love the transition from thin to thick on the end of the feathers. You know, maybe you can
Mm-hmm.
make them even bigger, even thicker, even more like a head of hair on a human. I think that would be fantastic. You would easily get to an S tier then. Oh, but what?
What is this? Why does this look like Attack on Titans? Why does it look like a Titan, especially on the right? What you staring at, Twig? All right, this is more like a troll, but this person could clearly draw. They are really good with making things look 3 dimensional with using Procreate or Photoshop or whatever painting computer program they're using. This looks good, but it's not really a character design. This is just more like a scenery. So I'm gonna move on from this. And then the same thing with this one too. Um, okay, Woman of the Night.
Analogies. Okay, you know what? This is cool. He looks
This is a character design. And this is what they showed. This is what he showed in the beginning. This is a good example of good character design layout from head to toe. Um, got the different face expressions, right? I still feel like obviously it has an urban feel, and I do like the weight of the character, like the legs. They obviously this character don't skip leg day. I like the heaviness of the character. It seems solid just by the proportions, like the from the calves, the feet, the big clothes, and then the head being small. I liked also the little attention to detail with the skin right here is a different color compared to right here, right? The inside of the palm and all that. Um, my only thing is, I'm trying to figure out what's missing. maybe a little bit of, because it's just a two tone, right? Had a little bit of highlights that will make it pop out more. But again, it's a character design, more like a concept art rather than something that is fully polished, you know. So let me see, let me show you guys another example. So like when doing stuff like this, like again, this is one of my old stuff. Like this is more like a scenery, right? Like it's fully polished with the lights and shadows. So that takes a longer time, and it's at the same time you don't need to get to this level of detail if you are just simply, you know, you're trying to figure out the character. So this is perfectly fine. I will give this an A tier just because of the face expressions right here. That's exactly what character designs are supposed to do. And you got him right here from head to toe.
Looks like a
And I
very
also like
stylish
the
guy.
outfit too with the it's very unique. The lavender with the urban outfit style is pretty cool. If anything, I do even like the earrings too, the accessories. Yeah, yeah, I'll give it a A tier.
You know, very fashion, very. Oh, there's a sketch, very nice. What the? Now I'm gonna give this character a C because I want to see a little bit more. You've got a couple of options here to make the silhouette look even more iconic.
Damn, he's more strict than me. I give it an A because it checks the boxes. It checks it. Got the face expressions, got the head to toe. The outfit is dope. He does this person clearly not trying to look at the junk in the trunk. I'm not trying to, but you could definitely see even with the shorts, you see all the level of detail with the seams. You know, so this
Like
person they
option
know
number
what they're
one, you
doing.
could try to shorten the shorts a little bit, make them like 5-inch shorts so you see more of those big quads. And I think that would provide a really good level of contrast between the lower body and the upper body. Or option number two, you could even bring that bagginess and that volume down to the lower body to get shorts that cover even more of his legs and maybe even bigger, chunkier shoes. I don't know, that's completely up to you, but
I think what he's pretty much trying to say, Sam Does Art, is that there needs to be something else to give it that oomph. It just seems incomplete. I get it, but if I just look at it like certain people in this world, right? They will have a calm fit. That's what they call it. It's a calm fit. They're not trying to be loud. They're just calm, just regular. And I think that's and it definitely shows with the character's face expression that this character is not a loud, screaming, crazy person. It's very just relaxing, chilling, you know? Um, and that's why to me, based upon that personality of what I'm seeing, to me it works. That's why I give it an A tier.
I want you to experiment a little bit more with where you place volume in this character silhouette to make him look a little bit more iconic. Oh my god, that is beautiful. Oh,
Well, he likes. I could tell what he likes. I know his type. I know his type. Um. I. This is. It's a lot. It's a lot. The composition. Ah. Look. Maybe I'm being biased here, and I'm not gonna hold back what I'm about to say. It just seems more like this is perfect for making seductive animations, if you know what I mean. So if they were going for that, then they check all the boxes. Uh if they're not, I mean, it's that pose. I give them credit for doing a pose. It's hard to draw a pose like this gesture. Eh, man, I'm just gonna let them talk.
oh my. Oh,
Oh, there's another page. Okay, so this they definitely put in the work. Okay, now I take it back a little bit just because they even had another page. So I have to give it a A tier, close to a S tier, just because they did a lot of work of making this character. They shown inspiration. They shown the back view. This is the first person that actually drew one of the few that drew a back view. Most of them don't do that. And even the back view is very detailed. This would be a pain in the butt to animate though, or even if you make your own series to draw this over and over and over. So much detail. It reminds me of like a Soul Calibur character. But yeah, nah, this is good. This is cool. Just not my cup of tea. I'm being really biased here. It's just not my style. But putting that aside, uh, this is definitely either A or S. I'll give it an A tier. Yeah, it's an A tier. It's up
Oh,
there.
design explanation below. And you
That is a
wrote a
lot.
whole article.
Damn.
Wow. I want her to be the embodiment of a black hole. Okay. Tear shaped ends on the outer and lower part of the dress of her hair, also resembling the ends of butterflies. So she's like a mix of butterfly and black holes. She has a little mouse companion. Oh.
I think my issue. Oh, let me just get this right.
Cute. Personally, I love.
I think my issue here is it looks like this is a concept for naughty things or a cosplay of something, even though it's not based on an IP. It doesn't. I need more as far as like why, who's this character? Like, is she a villain? Is she a hero? She comes off as I don't know. It could be a villain. It's a black hole, right? There's just something personality wise that's missing. Yes, I can see the seductive pose, but why? Why is this character seductive? What is this? Like it just seems like it's doing it arbitrarily, if that makes sense. Like there's no real reason other than it just looking cool. And it's so regardless, it's still a high A
This
tier.
character design. I think she's very iconic. The black, blue, and white color scheme work really well here, and I love the
Nice.
outfit. Look at the back shot. I can very clearly.
Yeah, I didn't know SamDoesArt is funny, man. Yeah, I gotta play that again.
Here, and I love the outfit. Look at the back shot. I can very.
Look at the back shot. I would have probably said the same thing and then realized, oh wait, that's not what I meant.
Very clearly see the butterfly wing inspiration here in the outfit, and I just noticed that her eyes kind of almost resemble that black hole motif. That is cool. That is awesome. This is
Very
gonna get a
attention to detail.
solid
I
S
guess
for
I
me.
did.
I
Oh, gave it an
cannot make
S.
this
Of
character
course he
any
gave it
better
an S.
myself. You're
I
killing
give
it,
it an
man.
A.
That's kind of sick. This is
Oh, this is nice
like a
too.
spider person. Okay, so I
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Why is the okay? I can see why they did that. That just the side view throws me off. I can see why they did that because they want to showcase, or maybe that's just the T pose where it's like the fist. But for some reason, I still think that anatomy is pretty jacked up. Like it just doesn't. I don't know what's going on there. But Blue Bite. Oh, that's a cool name. That's cool. Damn, they better trademark that or get copyright because trademark is expensive. You better copyright that. That's a cool name. Simple, straight to the point. Blue Bite. Nice. I don't think the character needs to have fangs. Why? If she's wearing a mask, right? Or have it where the character's mask it shows the face, so it bites people. I don't know, but it kind of defeats the purpose if the character has fangs and it probably bites people, but it wears a mask. It's like you got to do one or the other. Either have a mask where it shows the mouth, right, or get rid of the fangs. That's just me nitpicking. But the anatomy is great. I like curves, man. I like the curve anatomy. All right, got that the inspired BBL. I like it. I also like how the weight is at the bottom here. This is a really cool aesthetic, cool character design. My only issue is too much blue. It's too much blue to the point where things are flat. And also, is it really practical for her to be fighting the combat with heels? I know you guys can't see it, but she is wearing like combat heels. I don't know if that's ideal practically. The face is cool. I just wish there was more. And I also like what they added with the typography because most people do illustrations that don't really add good graphics, so that's fine. And also the overall logo is fine as well. it just seems too. Obviously, they're inspired by Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse and all that stuff. Um, but it's just too much blue. It's too much blue for me. I wish the certain blues could be lighter. Some of them could be darker. It just makes things look too flat, and that's unfortunate. All that hard work and it kind of gets disregarded because everything is the same tone. So I will give this a solid B. Give it a B.
I like this character
B
design
for
a lot.
blue.
Now, when we talk about the silhouette of this character, you can see there's more volume being pushed up towards the top of her head with the hair as well as with the hoodie. And there's also more volume being dropped down with the leg warmers. I actually really like the way that interacts with the
You guys can see what I'm talking about now with the boots. That's what I was talking about.
character's silhouette. I love the expression here. I love the highlights on her hair. She looks like she just doesn't give a sh. Now I'm going to give her an A, but I think what could potentially take her to an S tier is if you incorporated a little bit more of a secondary color into her costume design. I get that she's supposed to be a blue type of
Too much
character,
blue.
but I'm not going to lie, at first glance, a lot of these elements on the costume
Like it's so much blue to the point where it looks unfinished. Like it looks like it's still in progress. Like it's just way too much blue. Too much. Change the blue family. Make certain blues darker. Make certain blues lighter. You gotta understand color composition. That's extremely important. If you don't understand color composition, then all of that shape, your line work, your lights and shadows, it don't mean anything. It's too
kind of
flat.
get lost to me because everything is blue. And I do notice that you've used brown and beige as a secondary color here because of the color of her hair and her skin. So if you add some of that into the costume itself, I don't know, it could be anything. Could be an armband or a wristband that is brown, could be a brown belt, or it could be a little brown outline around the spider logo, or maybe darker brown shoes. I don't know. It could be anything that you could possibly think of, but I think if you incorporate that accent color, S tier immediately. This is sick. This silhouette works absolutely
I like this. Is hopefully there's more to it.
beautifully,
Let's
and I love
see
how confident you
here.
are with your shapes. And I love
Ooh, nah. I see. This is another thing I have as an issue when it comes down to people making this type of work of art. Stop getting caught up in this. And I don't care. I'm being honest. Stop getting so caught up in this. The anime. Um, it looks like I know it's not a Funko Pop, but it's like that type of chubby, cutesy stuff. Like that is not that important. What's important is to show the different angles of the character's face and the different angles if you go to draw the character again from head to toe, from back view, 3/4 view, and things of that nature. If you're going to add this is not as important. Let that be just icing on the cake. Otherwise, this is amazing, but it's just missing the different angles. This is not really a character. It is a character design, don't get me wrong, but it just still feels like there needs to be more. Now, I was gonna critique on the contrast and certain things need to pop out more, but I digress. Mainly because this person have their own style. This is their own type of washed out with color palette, which I like by the way. I've seen this before with sometimes Soul Calibur character designs. They'll have that with their drawings. So I'm not knocking that. It's a beautiful color palette by the way. The red with the browns and the gold and the burnt umber and the sienna, beautiful color, and it works with the white being just a plain white background. Uh, Other than me being biased with just having this one thing right here, which I never understand. Maybe that's just the style of it. I will have to still give this, regardless. I have to give it an A tier because the gesture is on point. The anatomy of this lady from head to toe is on point. This is and then all of everything works. It's just I just want more. That's all I'm saying. If there was more stuff to it, it would have been an S for me.
the rendering on this character. The only thing that I could think of is maybe add a little bit more contrast just behind her torso so that we can see her body silhouette a little bit better. But again, I feel like your natural rendering style just leans towards more pastel anyways, so I'm not going to try to force you to change that. I think this is an S tier.
Oh, it
Absolutely
gives it an
fantastic.
S.
Man, you
It
guys are on
needs
a roll
more.
today.
It
What's
needs
going on?
more,
You guys are
man. I
killing
can't
me.
give it an
I'm
S. It needs
scared. And
more.
that's it for today's
Oh, that was the last one? Oh, man. All right. So let me show you guys. And if you guys want to submit your work to me, just go on my Instagram, which I got no followers, by the way. But yeah, follow me on Instagram and send me your message. Send me a link of the artwork you guys want me to critique, and I'll make a video critiquing your artwork. So yeah, you guys will get exposure from that. And let me show you guys my favorite out of all of them. Let me give you guys one of my favorites. Or I should give you guys. Let me show you guys one of my favorites. Let's see here. Where is it? Okay. This one, let me just get it to like a better view. This is one of my favorites. Hands down. Austin, one of my favorites. And let me show you guys another one. Oh, hands down, this one as well. Fire. Fire. Both of those knocked it out the park. And I think there was a third one. Just looking through. This is up there as well, I would say. Even though I want more like head to toe, but this is beautiful. So this one is up there as the third. I'm not. I know a lot of you guys will be like, "How come you don't like this one? How come you don't like it's fine." You know what? I'll put it as 4, just for the sake of it. Just for the sake of it. I know I'm being biased here. And the last one could have been up there. The last one is up. It should be up there. It's just missing. It's an honorable mention. Let's just put it that way. Honorable mention. All right. All right, so that's pretty much it, people. Let me just read some of these comments, and then we'll wrap this up. Sam will never run away from a furry art. Yeah, he likes the furries, man. I don't know what's going on. Pro artist grades your webtoon recommendations. Who else want to see Sam do this? Damn, somebody gave $50 as support. Damn. Yo, Sam, are you okay? Don't. Okay, I don't know what's going on there. All right, so they just having fun in the comment section. Anyway, so share your thoughts down below, and like always, I do a lot of. I haven't done a lot of digital artwork like the stuff you guys see here. Like I haven't done these in a long time. Show you right here. I haven't done these in a long time, man, because it takes me a long time to make stuff like this, a very long time. To the point where it does affect me because this was like one of my older channels when I used to do all this stuff, and it affected me so much to the point where I got burnt out because I wasn't getting no views. So I'm doing all this hard work and no one sees it, so that could be pretty soul crushing. So I'm not saying I'm completely done with doing this type of art style, which is always going to be this art style. I'm not going to stop. It's just one of those things where it's going to be more like a novelty where I will do this once in a while. And then you guys can see I'm really caught up in attention to detail. You know, so I'm one of those people where it's like the more you zoom in, it gets better when you zoom in. I'm one of those people. So yeah. So yeah, and then let me just show you guys the stuff I've been doing a lot lately has just been traditional. So I went back into traditional. So just drawing a lot of stuff on my sketchbook where I create like half of it is a render, the other half is black and white. So those suggestions of that as well, of different characters you guys want me to design in the future. All right. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.